Ladies and gentlemen, now tomorrow we're getting massively revamped versions of Sariel and Tarmiel on the Japanese version of 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. And I was just watching the Korean livestream and it looks like they're trying to push a full goddess race team because Sariel has a passive which buffs up all goddess characters by 20% of his stats. Plus he also is a massive damage dealer by the look of it. Like, look at this first turn play here, that massive 200k cleave and then a 71k single target burst on the bronze card there, man. That was really crazy. But also with Ladosiel's passive, this just has fantastic synergy because it reduces all the defense related stats, and on Sariel's cleave as well, he's got a triple chance to crit. The same with his ultimate as well. But Tarmiel seems to be a bit more of a tank, a bit more of a control and support character, and he's a lot of interesting stuff. And his new taunt card introduces a very powerful mechanic into the game which allows him to mitigate damage from all of his team and then redirect a certain percentage of that damage to him, as you can see here. But as you scale that up as well, it can last 3 turns and the damage mitigation becomes much more significant as well. So at the golden kind of taunt and shield there, so it seems like it could be a tool that's very powerful for potentially slowing down the PvP meta, which on JP I would say is very quick at the moment in a lot of scenarios. You know, Festival King and Hendrickson, that's a crazy burst combo. You've got Lost Vein, you've got all these ridiculous damage characters like Pierce with a Mega Rugao as well. It's very dominant in geared PvP if there's no Red King on the back line. So yeah, it seems like a very interesting defensive ability. Like, looking at the full Archangels team, I think one of the biggest drawbacks and vulnerabilities is there's no way to remove debuffs with these 3 characters. So it means they're still very vulnerable, I would assume, to Festival King, unless they can out-damage Festival King and get him down really quickly. But also, like, looking at this team and setup, one very big flaw I see with it is it's very vulnerable to Red Gotha's attack disable or the blue SSR Arthur's attack disable. Like, any attack disable and you take 5 out of 6 cards from this team out of play. So yeah, that's going to be a huge vulnerability. However, also with the amount of burst that this team does have, seemingly there might be enough damage to just instantly take out like a Red Gotha. So maybe that's not going to be like too much of a problem, especially, you know, if this team has very high combat class as well. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see like how meta dominating a full Archangels team could be, because it seems like there's huge damage output and also a fair amount of damage mitigation and control provided by the characters. But anyway, let's talk about the 2 new characters and explain all of their abilities. So first up, again, Archangels have a Grace ability, which is applied to them if you take them into PvP, but also if you use them as an association, you can get this ability as well. And Tarmiel's Grace ability basically means that when you attack into the character, that you heal for 150% of your defense, I believe. So some really solid mitigation there, a nice little top up for a lot of characters. And again, it's going to be very powerful for just providing further mitigation on the association as well. So as a Grace ability, it does seem like a very nice bonus. His unique ability is also very interesting as well. It basically reduces the maximum health on your opponent's team by 200% of this character's defense, according to the translation. So yeah, it means he takes like a massive chunk of the opponent's health off instantly. So yeah, this is going to be, I think, really good. As we saw in that Droll and Zeldris matchup, he just absolutely melted them along with Sariel, and this is just a further kind of damage booster in theory with Ladosiel's passive as well. So yeah, seems pretty nice. So then we got his abilities, and first up he's got the standard single target drain card, so deals damage and also drains ult gauge, the one that Merlin has, Helbram has, many characters in this game have. So yeah, that's going to be very nice for the full Archangels team because it provides ult control when needed, and if the damage is really spicy, like, you're not going to need too much ult control hopefully with this team. But then we've got his taunt ability. So this at gold applies for 3 turns and reduces the damage taken by all team members by 65%, but then siphons 30% of that damage into Tarmiel. However, this is just going to be crazy good. A minus 65% damage reduction. Like, alongside Valenti, man, this could just be a complete counter to Pierce teams as well. But yeah, this seems incredibly strong. I think it also has some maybe PvE applications as well, because it's just such a huge damage mitigation. And as we can see with Esterosa, it's quite easy to get to those gold cards, but also his ultimate deals AoE damage to all opponents, and then heals for 30% all allies of the damage dealt. So via his ultimate, you've got a significant amount of damage, but also you get pretty much your team fully topped up as well. So this guy is a support character. There's like so much that he's bringing to the table. He seems like he's going to be a really top tier unit, but again, it's always hard to tell when it comes to very new and very different characters, like how good they're going to be until they're actually in the PvP arena. Again, one thing I'm a little bit concerned about when it does come to the full Goddess team is their inability to seemingly remove any debuffs, because that's one of the flaws of Goddess Liz as well. She doesn't have any debuff removal, so hence she's very vulnerable once like Festival King starts knocking. So yeah, I'm a little bit curious, man. But overall, I think the concept seems very interesting. I kind of like that they have weaknesses as well, and they're not just going to be like this overpowered team that just completely stomps PvP until the rest of time, because attack, disable, and also debuffs, again, they're going to be very vulnerable to by the look of it. Then we got Sariel, who looks like a very strong red character, man. Not like we have tons of really good red characters in the game already, but it's another one to make green units suffer. So one very interesting thing, the base stats look really spicy on this guy, but I think he's got 208% crit damage with his cosmetics as well, and that is a huge amount of crit damage. And I think they've also amplified the crit chance increase cards. I may be incorrect, but I think the existing ones are double, but his cards are actually a triple increase to crit chance. And I believe his base crit chance was 63%, so yeah, that triple, man, is going to be really good. But first up, we've got Sariel's Grace. Now, his Grace ability, again, can be applied to him or like any character that you choose to via the association. And basically, if you land a critical hit, you ignore 50% of the opponent's defense. Now, for certain characters like Lost Vein Meliodas or Zeldris or anybody that relies on crit, man, this is probably going to be a really solid damage booster. So that is going to be a very spicy Grace ability. Again, the Grace abilities are kind of wailing in a way, because ideally, you know, for any association you want 6/6, but we've also got his basic card as well. So this is the swirl you saw at the beginning of the video, hits all targets and has a triple chance to crit. So yeah, this is just like crazy, man. You're seeing crits on every single hit of this one. Then next up, you got a single target damage card, which deals 190% damage, and I believe as well ignores resistance. I may be incorrect on that one, or like deals more damage based on the opponent's resistance. I'm not quite sure how this card works. I think it might be a new one, but again, I may be incorrect. So it's got 190, 285, and I think 450, or sorry, 475 on the gold. So yeah, this one can hit really hard. And we also have his passive as well, which increases the basic stats by 20% of all Goddess allies in the team, based on his stats. So this is going to be really good for just getting a lot more value out of all the Goddess characters. And again, Ladociel, Goddess Liz, Tariel, Sariel, like all of these characters seem really good. So yeah, I think the team's gonna be quite chunky to deal with as well when it comes to like health and defense. So first off, I think they're showcasing his swirl card here. So this has got a triple crit chance increase, and again, he's got 63% on the base, so like everything I think is almost guaranteed crits, except in scenarios where there are very high crit resistance, because again, this kind of ups it to about, what is it, almost 190% chance to crit. So yeah, if only Blue Zeldris had that crit chance, man, it would be a much happier time. But then we've also got his single target damage card, so we can see on the bronze here, this one is dealing about 56,000 damage. So that's a really nice bronze card, man. Even with like full UR gear and Super Awakening, it seems like this guy is really going to bring a solid amount of damage to the table, because again, the base stats are all very good. I think I saw like 23% lifesteal as well, but let's have a look at the gold off this lad. So that's 131,000 damage, especially with Ladociel's passive as well. This is going to be magnified by a significant amount. So yeah, he seems like a very solid damage dealer on paper. And also looking at the ultimate, you have a A triple crit chance increase as well, so this one again goes up to almost 190%, so I believe it's almost guaranteed there, and it crits for 300,000. So that is a yeah, pretty significant chunk. I imagine that looking at how it performed there is going to be somewhat similar to Lost Fame Meliodas' ult, that it just wipes the team. You don't need cards in hand. So yeah, it seems very, very powerful, but overall I'm incredibly impressed with the two new Archangels, and I'm very excited to jump onto the Japanese version tomorrow and summon for them. I know it is a selector banner, so it's a lot better in comparison to the Lodociel banner, but I think it's still going to be a little bit of a Whaley banner. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on the two new Archangels in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy today's video, please do smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.